Hello guys, Greg back with another video on the channel. It's all killer, no filler. So today's just a quick video on 6 new fragrances that I've picked up so far this year. These are all blind buys. My blind buy success rate is usually pretty awful, but all 6 of these are really good. I'm really enjoying them, so I thought I'd talk about them a little bit. So the first 2 are from a brand that I'd actually never heard of. I was ordering some stuff online from other houses, and I saw both of these. They're reasonably priced. I liked the look of them, liked the notes, so I bought them. And the house is called Robert Graham, and I assumed that was the name of the guy that owns the brand, but it's actually the Christian names combined of the 2 guys that own the brand, Robert Stock and Graham Fowler. And they're fashion designers, and it's basically a fashion brand, but in 2015 they released 3 fragrances, and I've got 2 of them here to talk about. Really like the presentation on these. I think this is supposed to look like a whiskey bottle. Excellent cap. I'm not sure if you can see how much detail you can see if the camera's picking it up, but it's actually a bulldog on there, and it's got the words knowledge, wisdom and truth. It's actually quite a simply constructed fragrance. Simple doesn't mean bad. It smells really good, but it's just, the way it's put together is quite simple. And there's 3 key notes in here, and they're very evenly distributed. So it starts out very herbal and aromatic with clary sage, and then it develops into a really beautiful coffee. And the coffee in here, and actually the overall construction of this fragrance, really reminds me of Bond Number 9 New Harlem. They don't smell identical by any means, but it's just that I think if you like one, you'd like the other. Yeah, this one is, that coffee note is so good in here. And when the fragrance develops and you get into the base, it's joined by a note that's being used a lot in perfumery at the moment called amberwood. I'm sure you'll be aware of that, and unsurprisingly it smells ambery and woody, but it's done really well in Valor. It's a really good fragrance. So the second one from the brand that I purchased is called Fortitude. And again, that fantastic presentation. This time it's got a ram's head as opposed to a bulldog on the other one, that whiskey bottle style. But yeah, really, really cool presentation. This one, again, quite simply constructed. There's 3 key notes really: tobacco, vanilla and tonka bean, and there's a little bit of booziness in there. The dominant note in here is definitely tonka bean. And whilst it smells really good, the only criticism for me is that after about 45 minutes, it becomes just tonka bean for me. And it's a little bit sort of, not particularly exciting. It smells really good, but it doesn't change, and it can get a little bit sort of boring. So the best stage is the first 45 minutes to an hour of that one. Third one, again, this was a house that I actually hadn't heard of before. The house is called Maison Ribachi, and the fragrance is called Musk Panache. And as you can see, it was by master perfumer Maurice Roussel, which is the reason that I actually bought it. And it's a fresh citrus musk fragrance. Most of the notes in here hit you straight away, as opposed to like any slow development. Right at the very top, you get a blend of bitter orange and mandarin. The core of the fragrance is musk, but you do get musk right from the very first spray. And there's a beautiful iris note that comes in after just only a couple of minutes. It really, really does. It's a really, really well done iris note. There's some tonka bean in here. There's lots of ambroxan, and there's vetiver. And this one lasts forever on my skin. I definitely recommend trying that one if you haven't already. So that's Musk Panache. Right, the next one, this was actually quite a safe blind buy for me. I saw this on Mr. Smelly's channel, and he usually likes the same things as me, so I thought I'd go for it. And this one is from Ubiko, and it's called Duc de Vervon L'Extrême. I love the bottle on this. Some people might think it looks a bit tacky. In the flesh, actually, it's really classy. The only criticism really is that the cap's plastic, which is a little bit tacky. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this one. What I'll say is that if you think of Gucci Nobile and Draca Noir, if you like those, you're going to like this. It's a mossy citrus lavender fougere, and it's actually up there with the very best of that style of fragrance that I've come across. So that is Duc de Vervon L'Extrême by Ubiko. So 2 to go. Next up, this one is from the house of Franck Bockley, and it is simply called Tobacco. Lovely looking juice in this one. Now, similar to Graham Fowler from the Robert Graham brand that we spoke about, Franck Bockley is a fashion designer, and he also specialises in textiles, which Robert Graham does as well, or rather Graham Fowler does as well. As a broad description of this one, I'd describe it as being a tobacco, vanilla and plum fragrance. At the top you get hit with ginger and you get that plum. Immediately right at the very top you get a tobacco leaf note, and when it develops there's a really good clove note in here. You get some woods, lots of vanilla. It's not a sweet vanilla, it's more like a smokiness to the vanilla. The base has got lots of benzoin, and I think I always also pick up myrrh in here. It does become quite resinous in the dry down with that benzoin and myrrh. But this has definitely got some similarities to Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. This is slightly more muted, I'd say. It's not weak by any means, but it doesn't quite have that magic that Tobacco Vanille has. But nonetheless, it's a very well done scent, and I do recommend giving it a try if you can. So my final successful blind buy so far in 2021. A house that's not really spoken about very much, but they do actually have some really, really good fragrances. The house is called Michalev, and this one is called Jewel for Him. This is a woody citrus. It's quite similar to Terre d'Hermès. This one's got grapefruit, where Terre d'Hermès has orange, but it's got that earthy vetiver that you find in Terre d'Hermès. It's got some peppery aspects to it, there's some incense, and it dries down to a musky base with some hints of vanilla in there. There's actually more going on in here than there is in Terre d'Hermès, but Terre d'Hermès has just got something magical about it for me, and so I do prefer that one. And also this costs £225 for 100ml, so if I had to choose one I'd go with TDH, but this is a really, really good fragrance, so I do recommend giving it a try if you can. So there you go guys, that's 6 excellent blind buys that I've picked up so far in 2021. As I said, my success rate is usually pretty awful, so I'm really happy with these. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all soon with another one. Cheers.